Hello, everybody. This is your host, Nick. And today, for the next episode of Clone Calamity, we have the Stewmac Ghost Drive. Woo. Now, it is not Halloween, but there is a ghost already here. I do not know what to do about this, but I do know who to call. Now, without further references to older movies, let's just go into the overview. So this is a standard 3-knob clone, and what is fun about Stewmac is that he offers this as a pre-built or as a kit that you can build yourself if you feel like it. Obviously, because you did not see a video of me building it, because this requires soldering and I don't feel like doing that, I bought the pre-built from him. Plus, this way, we can go for the most quote-unquote direct representation of his work here, as he is the one building it, so that you can't blame me for any mistakes or any strange things that may happen for it. Now, the kit is obviously cheaper because you are providing your own labor and solder, but this as itself is not too expensive of a thing. And what's actually fun, he does clone other ones, like he actually has a King of Tone clone, if you want to go look into that, but he also has a lot of tools for just building and maintaining your own guitars. However, I am not a guitar player, so with that, we are doing this on a synth. The synth feature today is the Roland. SH-4d. And the original tone that we were working with was just... which, if you notice, let me turn up the volume so you can actually hear it. I had the volume very far down, so then when I have the pedal actually engaged, you can actually hear it a bit better, as I wanted to show off just the clean boost aspect, along with a little bit of treble, as this is a Klon clone, and one thing people use their clones for is clean boost. So for the normal overview, you have your normal 3 knobs, gain, treble, and output, and you just have your on and off switch, a nice enclosure, everything feels solid, and like I said, the one thing that's fun about this is that he also sells it as a kit, so you can build if you feel like it, and I can appreciate that as it helps people learn circuits, whether they want to do so or not. So, let's just go through the knobs as we always do. We'll get everything turned down. We'll have the output about here. I just need to see where the tone's sitting. We'll do it about here. The reason I don't, I have to, some sense I have to balance more than others just because of how much power, for example, is going into these, because the whole thing with it, especially if you're doing a lot of line level stuff, what can essentially happen is that normal guitar pedals do get overloaded with it. I might go and pad the we'll see. We'll see for later. Just sometimes when it's not padded or not taken in, it's going to cause a lot more noise than usual. Not talking about Klon hiss, of course. I'm talking about just like normal noise, and then it starts breaking up. For example, let me just turn this all the way up. This is one note normally, and then this is it with the pad. Which, as you can hear, it does make it a lot lower, even when I have everything up. But it's still, but then when I go and remove the pad, it's a balance to be found, of course. Mainly because when it is padded at times, if I'm not boosting this all the way, it will start cutting stuff off. But then when it is padded, then everything is so low that I have to boost it a little bit in post, so it actually is hearable due to YouTube compression and all the things like that. However, we're not going to worry about that too much, as this is still a proper representation of what we will find within the sound. So we'll just have the output about here. I'll turn the volume up on the actual synth. And this is what we're going with. So we're going to start with the gain now. And now, as we always do, let's just get everything up and see if we can hear some noise. And obviously right here, we are hearing noise. Because I can even hear that. I'm not boosting anything right now. So we'll start bringing down the treble to see if we can get rid of that noise. Seems like we still have noise even at this level, so let's get the treble to about mid, and let's start bringing down the gain, as I suspect I know what's going on here. And it's gone about there. Now the whole thing with this that actually does show it off, because a couple of other ones do it, and this is just the type of the pot. Some pots do this, some pots don't. It depends on what the builder feels like using. So what's fun about this pot here is it's one of those akin to, if you listen closely, like right here. Just watch, there's nothing, and then suddenly it goes up significantly just from here to here. And I can show it off just, I'll just play this note. If you can tell by the sound, there is a jump around this 80 to 90% mark right here. Now what that is that some pots are not a normal, just like 0 to 100% taper. It is just sort of goes, and then hops, essentially, for it. Like, the design around that is, if while you're playing you want just a significant jump for, like, such as a lead going into a solo or rhythm into solo. So that is a thing, and this looks like this is one of those style of pots, which is why it has a little bit of, actually, a little crunchiness there, I guess is the best way to put it. Nothing wrong with it, it's just different methodologies that go into building the pedal here. So now let's just I'm gonna get a different tone dialed in, and then I'm gonna do some playing, and then we'll get into the points. So now as I'm playing the original tone with just and then when playing to the pedal. So pretty decent of a different style of tone there. Kind of pushed it a little bit more, obviously, and it does. Well, I mean, it's nice. So before we go ahead and get into the points, I do have to mention this channel is sponsored by the shop, DefCloud. They are a small business out of California, family run, and they have over 600 positive reviews as of time of filming. I believe it's actually 650 now. But they are a very small and very responsive shop to any issues that you may have with anything, and they have a very knowledgeable staff. And what is fun about small businesses is that they do have pedals that the bigger places will not carry. So please go and support small businesses. And with that, thank you once again, DefCloud, to sponsoring this channel. And back to the video. So the points. Let's just start off basic. The construction, it's solid. It's a good standard box here. I have no issue with the box. The knobs, they are plastic. The clicky switch, it's got the guard around the light. I mean, that's just basic. It's a 4 out of 5. There's nothing significantly amazing about it, but there's nothing significantly wrong about it. Like I said, for my construction things, the only thing that makes it go up or down is if it's a mini pedal, if it's very hard to work with, or if it has metal knobs up here, then you would get extra points for that. But I don't feel like this would break anytime soon, and if it does, Stewmac, given he sells all the parts, will sell more of all of these. And then just onto the sound, it's a basic Klon. Nothing about it. The noise is there. It's got the sweeping style, but it's still just a basic 3-knob Klon. I think it has a little bit more noise than the other ones, but that is just because it has slightly higher gain than the other ones, so I'm not going to ding it. I'm just going to put it at 3.5 out of 5, as I do with mostly every other 3-knob Klon, unless it does something significantly like less noise or something like that. But there is nothing wrong with this as a pedal. It's not too expensive, and you get to choose if you want to build it yourself or have him build it for you. Honestly, with all the other stuff he offers at his shop too, I would recommend going and looking at the Stewmac shop, just if you're into like building guitars and that too. He has some other things too, so I mean, I personally haven't talked to them. This isn't a paid promotion or anything like that. And that is just my experience with looking through it. That it seems like a very nice website for guitars and guitar enthusiasts and a couple of other clone pals and projects. So just go ahead and check it out. You might have fun trying to look over some things. So the final score between the both of them, we'll just put it at 3.75, 825 out of 5. Once again, this has been your host, Vic. Go ahead and like the video if you like the video, or just like it anyways to help me out within the algorithm, as I will greatly appreciate that. And go ahead and subscribe, as every different subscriber does help grow the channel to reach this out to a further audience, as I believe I'm one of the very few people, if not the only one, doing well, I know I am the only one doing this series that is doing something with this many clones through synthesizers. So if you have anyone that likes synths or clones in history and other types of speaking like this, please refer them to my channel, as it would be greatly appreciated. I would like to get 500 subscribers eventually, as that is a nice even number, as for whatever reason I like even numbers, just because it looks clean. Or even just 300, because of that time of filming we were at 273, and 300 subscribers would be nice, as then I can go back to when the 300 came out and start making remixes of This Is Sparta. That may actually happen. Anyways, I appreciate everyone for watching. Leave a comment if you think of any other clones you think I may not have. As of time of filming, I have 105 of them. This is going to be a very long series. So, again, to help people, go ahead and refer them to this, as this will be the most comprehensive series ever on clones. And go ahead and visit my merch store in the description if you actually do want to help me out financially, as I do not have affiliate links to anything else. I have different arrangements for that. So, go ahead and subscribe, as it is greatly appreciated. And go ahead to my merch store if you want to see why I have very few actual merch, and I did most of them as jokes, because I cannot help myself. There's also a tip jar there, and all tips will be appreciated. Thanks for watching. Bye.